Well, hello there, everyone. Hopefully, doing fantastic on this fantastic Friday. Congratulations for making it almost to the weekend. If you're working, hopefully 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m., wherever you're at, will be the start of your weekend. Of course, some of you might be going to work at 7 p.m. tonight or 6 p.m. if you work night shift, because I've done that before. Sometimes I start on a Friday night, 4 nights in a row, Friday, Saturday, Sunday night. Right, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday nights. I work 4 12-hour nights in a row. And let's see, I get off at 7 a.m. Tuesday morning, be off Tuesday, and then Wednesday, then Thursday, and then go back to work Friday, starting at 6 a.m. and work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 6 a.m. Get off 7 p.m. Sunday night, be off Monday, and go back to work Tuesday night for 3 12-hour nights, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. or 7 to 7. 12-hour nights, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, get off 7 a.m. Friday morning, be off Saturday and Sunday, and then work daylight, those 12-hour days, getting to work at 6, 6:30, 7 a.m., whatever time it was, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and 12-hour days. And that schedule I just said is what I worked for a period of years in a police department. And I'd work 4 weeks worth of work, 160 hours. That's in a 3-week period. And that final 7 days is our so-called mythical 7-day break, where odds are during those 7 days we might have court, we might work scheduled overtime, we might work a sporting event or something else. So it's not as good as it sounds. And trust me, when you do this, you're topsy-turvy, upside down. You hear people complain about daylight savings time and that sort of thing, 1 hour. Try flip-flopping 12-hour nights to 12-hour days to 12-hour nights to 12-hour days and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Weekends, holidays, birthdays, go to work one day on night shift and get off the next day. And do that for years and just see how your body responds. So anyway, I wasn't going to talk about that, but whatever comes out of his mouth comes out. So there we are. So with that being said, I am Mazske Finance. I'm coming to you live. Of course, I'm live now, but it's being recorded from South Florida. And I am not a CPA, financial advisor, or an attorney. I'm going to talk to you about a little bit about the pending storm. Pending storm, you say? Sure, I live in Florida. Is there a hurricane coming? Well, you can watch my hurricane videos. I went through almost a near Category 5 hurricane just a couple months ago, but I'm not talking about the hurricane. I am talking about the pending recession. No matter what media source you follow, or what investor you follow, or what YouTube channel you follow, you will hear talk about the recession, the recession, the recession. You will hear different things said. It's going to be a mild recession. The Fed's going to raise rates for a couple more months and then they'll start cutting them. It's going to be a deep recession. It's going to be a bad recession. Who knows? I've said this just the other day. No one can accurately 100% predict the future. Yes, occasionally somebody gets lucky and does. And then they ride that luck wave for the next couple of decades, getting rich and famous, because one time they got lucky and predicted the future, but they probably never do it again. If they do it again, oh, they're set for life. They can write a book, make a movie, they're set for life, because they did it twice, they predicted it successfully. So with that being said, my brain can go in two different directions when I look towards the 2020s, the rest of this decade. Part of my brain says, there's a book up there, The Cloud Revolution. We might go in that direction. There's a lot of good things happening with technology. Perhaps we can all ride that wave and they will carry us to a time of glory and fantastic stuff, right? Maybe that'll happen. Maybe. It's a small part of my brain that says that. A larger part of my brain says it's going to get a little rocky. It's going to get a little rocky. I don't know if it's going to be a deep stock market crash like year 2000, dot-com crash, a great housing drop crash like 2008, 9, 10, that general time period, or is it going to be just a slow recession that over the next, we're in December, maybe it starts in 2023, in 3 months or 6 months or 9 months? Will it be just a long downward trend and maybe we stabilize down here, not up here, and just stay that way? But a big part of my brain says no matter how exactly it plays out, I think we might ride out the rest of the decade in volatile, rocky, downward trend type conditions for the economy and the markets, the global economy. There's a lot of negative stuff going on. A lot of negative stuff. A lot of it comes back to energy. Russia, they're doing stuff that's causing things to happen with the energy. But even though the price of gas in your neighborhood might be dropping, I think you better hold on to those britches, maybe stockpile a little bit of gas, because I think we're going to see it go back up as the next year gets here. Maybe higher than it's been, okay? So I think what you got to do is prepare for the storm. Batten down the hatches, kind of like I did during the hurricane, so I stay safe. I'll tell you a little bit about what I'm doing, and perhaps it'll stimulate your brain to think of ideas for you. If you are a reckless investor, if you are using your HELOC and maxing it out to buy this, buy that, do this, do that, take a deep breath, maybe slow it down just a bit, be careful, okay? If you are the type of person, you don't hold on to cash reserves, you just keep buying because the cash flow will come in and you'll be okay, maybe start stockpiling some cash reserves, all right? If you are a beginning investor and you really want to be primed to take advantage of opportunity, because I said this the other day, in the times of despair, in the times of recessions, depressions, there are folks who lose everything. There are folks who they're at the bottom and they stay at the bottom, nothing changes per se. But there are folks who seize the opportunity and become wealthy. So if nothing else, this might be the time. Start stockpiling some cash if you can. Start saving the money for a rainy day, for the time when there's better opportunity. If you knew what you did now by watching my channel, and this was 2008, 2009, and houses that were selling for, I'll make numbers up, $100,000 are now selling for $40,000. Don't you want to have that 40 grand to swoop in there and buy that house? Because it might take several years. It might take till 2030. It might take till 2035. But eventually, you're probably going to recoup your money. And even if we have a recession, rents normally don't drop during a recession. Normally, they go up during a recession, because during a recession, people will lose their houses. They'll get foreclosed upon. And when they lose their house, they need a place to live. They rent. So the demand is there for even more rentals. So prices, they might not go up, but they normally don't drop. And rents and real estate are location specific though. So it depends on where you're at. It's location specific, okay? If you own a house right now, like I own a house right now, I have a mortgage on it. If you have a mortgage on a house right now, think about what will happen if you were to lose your job. What would happen, okay? Can you afford your mortgage for how many months can you pay it? Okay. Now let me ask you this. Where you're at, wherever you're located at, how's your local real estate market? Could you, just throwing something out, put your house on the market to get out from under that mortgage? Could you do that? Could you then perhaps, maybe you rent for a little bit maybe, but could you perhaps try to find a duplex, a triplex, or a quadplex to get a residential mortgage to move into house hack, because then potentially you can live for free because your tenants are paying your rent that you can pay your mortgage. But even if you have tenant turnover, you're just paying a mortgage. You can hopefully do that for a little bit of time until you get a new tenant in there. But if times get a little tough and people are getting foreclosed upon, you shouldn't have any trouble filling your vacancy. So you'll get someone back in there and you'll get rent again. So could you do that? I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I'm doing. I've said this before on my channel. I plan to sell this house. I think I missed the peak. If I was in a position to sell it 6 to 9 months ago, I think I could have listed my house at a 7-figure number and perhaps had a bidding war. That's done. That's in the past. Okay, that's not going to happen. We're getting back to a more normal market now. Normal meaning it's not going to sell like that with 10, 20, 30 offers in 2 days. That's not going to happen. It's more normalized, which seems strange to people. It's like, oh, it's slowing down. But historically, it would take a month or 2 or 3 to sell a house in a normal market, just to get the good offer to sell it. Not to sell it in 24 hours and close in 30 to 45 days. That's a crazy market. Okay, houses don't normally sell quite that quick. Okay, but I am looking to list this house and sell it. I may or may not get peak price. Prices haven't really dropped in my area. The market's slowing, but prices really haven't dropped. I might not get the peak price. I won't have a bidding war. So the price will be down somewhat, but I don't know exactly what level. But as long as I can cover my mortgage, paying it off, and put some sort of profit in my pocket, I'm going to do it. If I'm going to sell for 100 grand less than my mortgage, that might not happen. I'll stay here, okay? But I don't think that'll happen. I think I'll sell it at some price above my mortgage. And what I plan to do is whatever profit I make, whatever it is I make, I'm going to put it into a safe investment like FDIC insured bank account or bond where I can get hopefully 4.5, 5, 6.89% return. I will do something like that to keep the money, the equity I have in here. I don't want to just throw it as an investment. I want to keep it because maybe I want to buy a house in the future. So I'm going to keep that. And I'm also planning to move to a foreign country, perhaps Panama, because I have connections in Panama. I've been to Panama. I love that country of Panama. So I may do that. Why would I do that? Well, I love the country. So I love the country. There's beaches, there's mountains, there's big cities, there's small towns, there's mountain towns. It has a GDP, they're growing something like at 8% annualized. Now, they may, if we go into a recession, they may go into a recession. I don't know. But they've been growing. They're a small country and they're growing. They're getting modernized. They're as close to being a first world country as a Latin American country can be. They're right there. They're maybe not quite first world, but then again, maybe they are. They do some things better. I was telling the missus earlier today, some of their decisions they make, they're using common sense, where in this country, common sense is gone. It's thrown out the window, okay, by everybody in the political government, not just one party or another. It's everybody. The common sense is gone. So, but anyway, if I do that, my expenses should be cut. I can live a lot cheaper there than I can live here. And I can have a comparable lifestyle as to what I have here. I speak Spanish, puedo hablar en español. So, but you can be an American or an English speaker and go there and get by in some parts of the country. You would have to learn some basic words and phrases. But there's a lot of expats living there. Americans, Europeans, different ones, who do speak English. So if you're in one of those expat communities, there are people that get by and never learn Spanish. Okay? I don't recommend that, because I think if you're in that country, be respectful and learn the language. Just like if you're in this country and you speak a foreign language, learn English because you're in this country. Okay? You respect the country you're in. Just like if you are a basketball player and you go to Russia, respect their laws. Do not violate the law. Know the laws of the country you're going to. And then you don't have to try to get a prisoner swap when you violated the laws of that country. Yes, there's more reasons above and beyond that. I'm not going to get into that. But if you're going to move to any country, understand what their laws are. Understand their customs. Learn about the laws, the customs, etc. so you can stay safe wherever you go. Okay? So with that being said, there may be a storm coming. It could be a big storm. Just in recent days, I've heard talk about the railroad strike. I think it might have been averted. I've heard talk about Starbucks in a couple months ago and some other company. They're talking about striking. I've heard talk about tech companies laying people off. But we still have low unemployment. So they say. We still, depends on how you measure it, might have some growth happening, maybe not, in this country. The price of gas is still a little low, but it's primed to go back up a lot higher. So if you haven't taken it, this is a time where you need to prepare yourself as an investor. You don't stop investing. You don't change your plans and say, oh, I'm not going to invest. It's too expensive to live. I can't afford to invest. You don't do that. You figure out a way to live even cheaper so you can continue to invest. You're not stockpiling cash to invest it in a bank account. That's not investing. That's putting it in the bank and you're losing to inflation. So you don't do that. You save up the money to get your down payment to buy a rental house. Or you put the money into stocks and you study the market a little bit so you know a little bit what you're doing. You put your money into dividend stocks and you get some quarterly or monthly dividends in. Okay? Put your money into assets that are tangible the best you can. All right? Dividend stocks, you're getting something back. Growth stocks, I think the growth might pucker out here over the next 5, 10 years or so. I think the S&P 500 is going to sort of flatline for a while. All right, so batten down your own hatches wherever you are, but keep living life, keep working your job. Just cut your spending a little bit. Don't panic, but just be intelligent, be wise, make good decisions with everything. So that being said, Mazske has a lot to do. Mazske has a lot to do. He's talked to 2 different consulates today, one in Tampa, Florida, one in Washington, D.C. So I got some prep work to get a couple documents authenticated and notarized so I can get a visa for the country of Panama. All right, so with that being said, have a great day. Mazske is signing out.